Behold, Honda Canada's answer to the question, how do you take a fantastic 1000cc super sports machine and crank it all the way up to 11? Well, the answer perhaps isn't quite as rare as a Honda RC30 or RC45, but the CBR 1000 RR SP certainly comes close. Basically, what you see before you here is the very latest generation CBR 1000 RR. However, under all that sweet orange Team Repsol bodywork, you get a hand-assembled, hand-balanced Pro Superbike ready inline 4. Then mated to the stock frame with its sculpted aluminum gull-wing swing arm, you'll note the cream of the crop Öhlins suspension has been bolted into place. While up front, the inverted 43mm Öhlins fork sports a pair of top-drawer Brembo monoblock brakes up front. All the very latest kit, to be sure. But the question on everyone's mind when Honda Canada rolled this piece out recently at a press launch down in Savannah, Georgia was, how different is the SP from the standard RR? Well, as it turns out, dramatically different. But you don't have to take my word for it. Here's what veteran journalist Colin Fraser and reigning CSBK champion Jody Christie had to say after peeling off a few hot laps down at Roebling Road.
So Colin, we're on a bit of a rain delay here at the Honda Canada press launch, and yesterday we were watching Jody just flog this motorcycle, and it was a blast. I thought it might be fun while we're on this delay to just talk about this motorcycle in terms of where it fits into the Honda family. I haven't seen something like this around since maybe the RC30, and I'm looking at it going, is it to be ridden on the street, is it to be ridden on the track, or is it to be parked in the living room? Where does this fit in?
Well, I think RC30 is a good comparison. It was an exotic, it was collectible, but they were certainly raced, and it was built to be raced. It had the tools that racers would most appreciate.
Yeah.
And you're right, Honda haven't done this kind of limited edition thing in a long time. CBR 1000 is a very proven bike, very successful, very popular, but they've upgraded the spec, and obviously that makes it more expensive and more exclusive, and it's also exclusive because the numbers are small.
Right.
So a la the RC30, and I think these numbers are even more restricted.
Yeah.
Down the road 20 years, that will make this bike valuable if you can keep it in one piece.
Right, exactly. Well, we've been told by the Honda reps, they're talking about bringing in the numbers that you can count on your hands. I see that this is a 6. When you walk up and look at the bike, what's the most special thing about this motorcycle for you?
The thing that you're going to talk about that you're going to notice is the front end. There's sort of 2 signature suspension companies in the world. There's Showa, owned by Honda,
Yep.
and there's Öhlins, which are Swedish based, and most Grand Prix bikes, a lot of World Superbikes run those, and these are your gold standard Öhlins forks, and they're completely rebuildable, track capable, so they're certainly a really good tool in terms of a starting point for somebody like Jody who's going to race the bike.
Right.
When you look down at the bottom of the fork legs, radial mounted Brembo calipers, absolutely the industry standard for race bikes. The wheels are slightly different, slightly lighter, unsprung weight, definitely an advantage on the racetrack. Things you don't see here, and of course the paint job is a Marquez replica, so that's neat, but the engine has a little more attention, particularly in the top end, balanced parts, blueprinted parts, and that allows the engine to be for a bike that's so smooth running already, allows it to be a little more smooth and also a little bit more powerful.
Well, Jody's the reigning Superbike champion. He won last year on an RR. Will he be competing on one of these this year?
Right, it's a big deal that Honda have chosen to homologate. Just as with the RC30, they're bringing in enough that it will be approved for racing in Canada. There will be some components that he will utilize. I would imagine he's going to keep everything on the front. This comes with an Öhlins rear shock, another really high quality component. And of course, tuning the bike at the track, particularly at our tracks, which tend towards the bumpy and the more difficult, tracks that have suited the Honda, that this Honda has done extremely well at. So yeah, he has more bullets in the gun this year.
Right. So we know Jody's looking forward to riding it. My question is, who will buy this bike? Is it the track day guy, or is it the collector?
Well, I think it'll be 50-50. You'll get some collectors who understand this is a very limited number, that down the road that this will probably be valuable just like the RC30, so they'll ride it very little or not at all. They'll put it somewhere where they can enjoy it, and someday, hopefully, it's an investment. But you'll also get guys who maybe grew up with Japanese bikes, they like the exotics, but they'd like to stay with an inline four, so this is an unusual situation with a Ducati type Japanese motorcycle. So I think that's fun too, but there aren't a lot of them. You're never going to see them. It's going to be one of those things, if you're going to tell your friend, oh yeah, I was at such and such and I saw an SP, right?
Right.
So, and I mean, it's the same with RC30s now, right? To even see one part is a notable thing.
Right. So Jody, last season your weapon of choice was the Double R. This season you're hoping to do it on this bike. Was there a quick noticeable difference between the two bikes, or are they very similar? What have you noticed so far?
So far here at Roebling, I've noticed that the brakes are stronger, and it definitely has a lot faster acceleration on the straightaway. So those are two things just on street trim that I've noticed. I was riding very conservative, probably 60–70%. Just the setup isn't like a stock setup is tough to ride at full race pace, so we were just taking it slow and just having some fun and feeling the power and spinning some fun laps around here.